So this is video 2 in the lesson covering representing, naming, and evaluating functions. In the previous video, we went over this opening exercise and we talked about what makes a function, and some vocabulary like domain and range. For this first example, we're asked to define the opening exercise using function notation and to state the domain and the range. So let's look at that opening exercise one more time. Remember that we took the first set of the names of animals here, in other words, the domain, and connected that to the second set, the pictures of the animals over here, which was the range. You'll notice here that for the notation, right, we're going to use something like this, F:, X arrow Y, like that. So we could write the function notation like this. However, that's not very descriptive. We can do better. We have a better idea of what X represents, right? Back up here, X is the names of the animals. So what we'll do is we will write this using the descriptor here, names of animals. Okay, and then to show that this is a set, we're going to use these brace symbols. Just like that. That shows that this is a set. Then we will arrow. And then our Y, again, we can be more specific about what that Y represents. Okay, if we went back up here, Y represents these animals, the pictures of the animals. So again, brace, pictures of animals. It would also be acceptable here to put the actual names of the animals in the braces here. So you also could have listed, you know, polar bear, camel, zebra, etc. But this is okay for what we're doing right now. Let's also state the domain. Okay, remember the domain is the input or the X values, and that would be this right here. So the domain is going to be those four things. And in this case, I will write them out. So let's see here. It's elephant, camel, polar bear, zebra. Separate your individual elements by a comma. The range, remember those are the outputs, and here are our outputs. Now it's hard to write these down. I'm not going to recopy the pictures because that's just a little bit too much there. So instead what I will do is I will just say the pictures of the animals. Like so. Okay? Let's take a look here at example 2. I'll include this one too, and then we'll do example 3 in a third video, I mean. Example 2. Is the assignment of students to English teachers an example of a function? If yes, define it using function notation and state the domain and the range. So let's think about this. At your school, right, we can think about, you know, a class of students. Let's talk about maybe student A and student B. Is their assignment to an English teacher an example of a function? Well, student A may only have one English class and therefore one English teacher that they take. But student B may take 2 English classes. They may have a regular English class and it might be a different teacher. We'll call them maybe English teacher 2. But maybe they take another class like journalism, in which case they might have another English teacher. Okay. In this situation, we have our domain value. Our input here is student B, and the output is 2 English teachers. Are we allowed to have one input go to 2 different outputs in a function situation? Well, let's go back to the definition up here. Here's the definition right here. Each element of X is matched to one and only one element of Y. Is that the case here? Is this X matched to only one and only one Y? The answer is no. So, in a situation where students can take more than one English class at a time, and when they do take more than one English class at a time, then this is not a function. However, if at your school there's a situation where every student only takes one English class at a time and only has therefore one English teacher, then this would be a function. So it really depends on the situation. Okay? Assuming that it is a function, let's go ahead and complete the rest of the directions here. So again, we'll kind of like divide this off here. If yes, define it using function notation. So again, function notation will be, and we'll use F. You don't have to use letter F. F is the typical letter used to describe a function. You could also use G or H. Those are also other common names for functions. So the domain here will be the students in a particular class, and that will be paired then to the range, which will be the English teachers. Okay, so the domain will just be all students, and the range will be all English teachers. All right, we'll finish up the third example in the next video.